time for our new series, which you may be now familiar with, Battleground Voices.
You're listening to the Francine Marie Show. Radio WHP. Brian Mudd Show is on News Radio 610 WIOD.
I like that jingle. Especially
Every
since
time you like it.
I know,
so sweet.
It's only because we paid for it. Each week, we're going to speak to radio hosts and journalists in 6 key battleground states that will decide November's presidential election. And I'm pleased to say we're joined this week from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, by Ken Matthews. He's a conservative talk radio host who has an afternoon show on WHP 580 AM. Do you have a jingle like that? Do you have a jingle like ours?
Now I'm going to bring it next time. Now that I know I can.
Play it just for you. Now listen, when I listen to everybody talking about the convention this week, in fact, I got the same message last week as well. They tell me that it's the most important election ever, that our lives depend on it, the future of America depends on it. Is it really as serious as that?
Well, I definitely see this as the biggest cultural and socioeconomic shift that I've seen in my lifetime, say the last 7 or 8 elections. And I think we're seeing it for a couple reasons, because of COVID and the riots, and the economy just over the last 7 months has really exaggerated everything. So every single issue is under a magnifying glass, and then it's being exaggerated further in the news. And that's part of the reason I think it's important. And I think that there's a lot of people that don't want Trump to get reelected. And I think that's part of they think they can get things back to normal, the Democrats in particular, if they can just get Joe back in, or if they can get someone from the Democrat Party, or even a mainstream Republican eventually, everything will be fine. So those are all the factors playing in, I think.
When you say the mainstream media is exaggerating things, are you talking specifically about, what, COVID-19?
Well, I think the coverage of COVID-19 in the U.S. has varied from state to state. I think it's a serious issue, and as a conservative, we all know it's a serious issue. We've seen it firsthand in Pennsylvania, but our state, along with New York, Michigan, and California, they all have come out and said, look, we made a mistake early on. We didn't have as many deaths, and it wasn't as severe as we thought in this area and that area. So in hindsight, we look at that and we're thinking, wow, did we really need to shut down everything? And in many cases, we still are. I heard you talking about.
So you're not in favour of a mandate for wearing masks then, which Joe wants, a national mandate?
No. Oh, gosh, no. I'm not big on mandates.
Why not, if it works?
Well, first, it hasn't been proven that a national mandate would work. So that's part of the problem.
Well, I mean, we do see numbers coming out of South Carolina just today, which shows that the areas of the state that have a mask mandate have been responsible for bringing down the COVID numbers more than the areas of the state that doesn't. Wouldn't that suggest that it was a good idea?
Well, I think a lot of these numbers, and this is what's so unpredictable about it, they are, when you do additional testing, you're going to have additional cases. We've seen that county to county in Pennsylvania. So if you look at the states that were most restrictive, New York, Michigan, Wisconsin, I'm trying to think of some other ones, California, of course, you'll see that those numbers are the worst. And the states that had the least restrictions, the least mandates, have the best numbers, the best survival numbers, the less severe cases, less nursing home deaths. I'm not saying that masks aren't efficient in certain areas. I'm just saying that to mandate everybody wear a mask when in some cases it's the worst thing you could do, I think that's an overreach for the government.
Okay, so Ken, let's have a quick look at Pennsylvania. Joe Biden's ahead at the moment in the polls, I think by an average of about 5 points, if you average out all of the polls. Can Trump keep Pennsylvania in the red column this time around?
You know, it's going to be challenging, and everybody talks about a ground game, and you talk about battleground. I've never seen battleground as focused as we do now. I think it's going to be a battle of counties. There's about 3,100 counties in the U.S., give or take, and Trump won most of those, believe it or not. Trump won most of those in 2016. We're bordered by 5 states. I think all of them are blue.
Right.
So I think the momentum, I don't know if Biden got the momentum he needed last week because he had the first COVID-19 convention in history.
Yeah.
And that was tough. I wouldn't want that job to be out on that stage without an audience.
Okay,
President Trump.
Ken, we have to leave it there.
Ken, I'm going to have to leave it there.
But come back and join us again.
Do come back and join us again.
Very much.
In fact, we're going to talk
Take
to all
care.
our radio hosts plenty over the next